I'm Tim Murphy of the Providence Journal. Rhode Island's next governor will face daunting challenges. How can voters decide who's the best person for the job? To help answer that question, we've partnered with the Hassenfeld Institute for Public Leadership at Bryant University and Rhode Island PBS in a project we call Job One Leadership. As part of the project, we're asking all the candidates for governor 6 specific questions about their leadership skills and ideas. Each Sunday for 6 weeks, beginning May 4th, we'll post videos of the interviews on our website, providencejournal.com. Here's what they said. Massachusetts made a big investment in its public education system and instituted rigorous graduation requirements. Its school system is now one of the best in the country. In Rhode Island, there's been resistance to standards and accountability. How would you lead the state to improve its schools?
Well, I believe that we need access to the highest quality education for all of our students. All of my life, people have actually shared with me about how they received a Pell Grant and how that empowered them to build a career, to go to college, and to raise a family. And so that's why I want to make sure that every student has access to a 21st century education, meaning that we're making sure that they can graduate, making sure that they get the career and technical education that they need, making sure that there are opportunities for kids to see what skills they need in the workplace, and also that there's a chance for sports and after-school activities, arts and language, computer programming. All of these skills, all of these experiences will help our kids, will help the next generation compete and develop as individuals. And that's what we really need. Creative students who know what they're passionate about, who have teachers who have been empowered to help them, and who are together committed to solving the problems for the state and the generation to come.
Education is crucially important to me. I am an ed reformer. I sat on the board of RICAN, which is one of the state's big ed reform groups. I'm dedicated to the idea that we are currently underserving our urban kids in particular, and we need to educate them better. I will lead in this effort because I believe that we're on the right path. I believe we need accountability. We have to have high stakes testing, but much more importantly, we have to do the right steps necessary to help at the earliest grade possible those children who struggle, especially in our urban districts. I will staff the Board of Governors with individuals who are prepared to lead this state forward in education reform.
First, I think I'm in the best position to lead the state to improve its schools because of what the public schools have meant to me. I would not be sitting here as a candidate for governor but for the education I received in our public schools. I think Massachusetts is a great example from the standpoint of they made a long-term investment in their schools, 10 years in terms of implementing the MCAS. And they made the investments necessary to make sure that the teachers and the students had the supports that they needed to be prepared for the MCAS. We can do the same in Rhode Island. We can do better in Rhode Island because of our size and our ability to come together. So I look forward to making that happen in the state of Rhode Island.
First, I should say that education is a priority of mine. In my own life, I wouldn't be where I am without an excellent education. I have 2 young children in the Providence public school system, so as a mother, I'm deeply committed to public education. With respect to education, we need a leader who is going to set high standards and not back away from those standards, because our children need skills in order to get jobs. However, we need to provide support for teachers. We need to treat teachers like the professionals that they are, empower them and support them. I would like to see universal pre-K. Children can't be left, behind by the time they're 6 or 7 years old. And it's time, I do agree we need to invest, we need to hold teachers accountable, and we need to have standards set high so people get the skills they need to get jobs in this economy.
Well, the first question with education that has to be asked is what's in the best interest of our students? And I'm a strong supporter of innovation and accountability in our educational system. And one of the things that I've been pushing for during my time as mayor that I'd like to see expand more is charter schools, particularly mayoral academies. On top of that, you might have heard that back in November when I announced for the accountability piece, I want the commissioner reporting into me as governor, working with many of those departments that touch our employers, from the Commerce Department or whatever it's called, to Department of Labor and Training, DBR, or any of those different touch points, to ensure that the curriculum that they are being provided aligns with the workforce of the future and the needs of our employers. And that's how we're going to create a better environment, all with the best interests of students in mind.
The main focus of my campaign is exactly that, investment in Rhode Island. And education is part of that. Every student has a path towards their education. We all have, I give this example, we have the cell phone pattern to unlock our cell phones, and that learning environment is dynamic, and the teachers have that task of figuring out exactly how to bring that student to bridge the skills gap. And that's what I'm focused on, is investment in Rhode Island, and I support charter schools and dynamic learning environments equally to public education.